Facts about historical figures that you never learned in school, 8 intriguing details. Considering the fact that historical personalities have impacted the globe and influenced history, we yet know very little about them outside of what we are taught in school. History frequently does not receive the respect it deserves in the modern world. We frequently are unaware of the wealth of fascinating information that may be found on even the most well-known historical people. We will dig into some of these specifics that are frequently left out of history lessons in this video. These specifics provide us with a window into some of the individuals whose lives and brains helped to create the world as we know it. Welcome to the Know It All YouTube channel. To know about all the interesting facts from around the world, click the subscribe button and make sure to hit the bell icon if you don't want to miss out on our new videos. 8. Post-mortem photography. The first camera, the daguerreotype, was created in 1839 and allowed middle-class households to have pictures of their loved ones. Childhood mortality was quite high, therefore using the daguerreotype to photograph the deceased became a highly frequent practice in Victorian-age Britain. Many families were not affluent enough to buy painted pictures, so photographic sessions were considerably more rapid and less expensive. In several cases, the sickness was only captured in photographs after the patient had died. The deceased would occasionally be pushed up in chairs or placed in positions that made them appear to be asleep. In the Victorian era, post-mortem photography, commonly referred to as morning photography, was popular for taking a picture of the subject before they were buried. These images aimed to honor the life of the departed person. As death was considerably more common at the time, these images were sometimes the only visual reminders of their loved ones that remained with their families. Post-mortem photography gave people a means to deal with their grief and honor the lives of those they had lost, despite the practice's gruesome character. 7. Usage of heroin as medicine. Before it was a prohibited drug, medicine was made from heroin. It was employed as a cough suppressant, antidiarrheal, and infant calmer. Around 1810, doctors employed opium to create morphine. Astounded by the drug's capacity to lessen excruciating agony, they gave it the Greek name Morpheus, the god of dreams, due to the pleasurable effects. Then Germany purportedly created its own equivalent, which they called heroin. For many years, there has been debate concerning the use of heroin as a medication. Some individuals think that its pain-relieving abilities might be quite helpful for patients, particularly those who suffer from chronic pain. Others counter that any possible advantages are outweighed by the risk of misuse and addiction. Despite this, a great deal of research has been done on the medicinal applications of heroin, and some evidence points to the possibility that, when administered strictly under medical supervision, it may be an efficient pain reliever. Before the 1920s, these medications were available from pharmacies over the counter as a non-addictive substitute for morphine in strength. 6. Hiroshima's nuclear spectrum. How could we ever forget what occurred on August 6, 1945? When an American plane dropped a uranium bomb on Hiroshima, Japan, killing over 70,000 people. Hiroshima has only a few things that are horrifying and incredibly unpleasant. People who were unfortunate enough to find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time are only remembered by the shadows that the radiation from the bomb left behind on the road. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, two of Japan's largest cities, were found to have dark shadows of people and objects scattered throughout the streets and buildings when the atomic bomb was dropped over both towns. 5. The swastika. The swastika had a totally different meaning 5,000 years ago before Hitler transformed it into one of the most polarizing and provocative symbols in contemporary society. As early as the 2nd century BC, the twisted cross was a representation of luck and well-being. Even today, many Eastern religions, including Hindu and Buddhist traditions, revere it, and it can be found in temples and homes. However, by 1920, the symbol had come to represent the German philosophy of a pure race, and the Nazi Party later adopted it during World War II, forever altering and excluding the one's lack of guilt symbol. The symbol's meaning and image have been permanently damaged by its usage by the Nazi Party, leading to its widespread criticism and even illegality in several nations. However, it is crucial to appreciate the symbol's history and significance outside of the setting of Nazi Germany, as well as the cultures and religions that continue to use it today, and to show respect for them. By doing this, we may try to create a culture that is more accepting and understanding. 4. Dr. Eugene Lasowski. When Germany overtook Poland during World War II, Eugene Lasowski, a Polish physician, was known as the Polish Schindler. Dr. Stanislav Mucilu and Lassalle started experimenting with bacterial injections. They learned that the typhus vaccine is a potentially lethal, extremely infectious microbe. Makes the recipient of the injection test positive for the illness while not having any symptoms. They succeeded to stage an outbreak by injecting the town's population since they knew the Nazis were scared of sickness. The Nazis isolate the towns rather than sending the Jewish population to the extermination camps. The roughly 8,000 lives that were spared were due to this trick. 3. Argentavis, the world's largest bird. Numerous amazing animals have caught the minds of people all throughout the world throughout history. These animals, which ranged in size from enormous dinosaurs to vicious creatures, have had a profound impact on our history and society. However, few creatures have managed to win over people's hearts and minds as completely as the Argentavis. This incredible bird, the biggest bird in the world, has captivated mankind for ages and never ceases to astound people today. The biggest bird in the world, the ancestor of eagles and vultures, had a wingspan of around 7 meters, or about 2 stories, making it the size of a 2-story house. The extinct bird known as Argentavis, whose name translates to magnificent Argentavis bird, was the biggest flying species in the history of the planet when it lived in Central and South America roughly 6 million years ago. This country has seen the discovery of several ancient artifacts, including Garuda, one of the biggest flying birds ever. While Pelagornis sandersi, which was discovered in 2014 and is thought to have had wings 20 longer than Argentavis, now holds the record for the heaviest flying bird ever, it was most likely larger in wingspan than Argentavis. 2. The Trojan horse. People all throughout the world have always been fascinated by the Trojan horse. For decades, this majestic horse sculpture has weighed on people's minds, inspiring an amazing and magical tale. It comes as no surprise that it is still one of the most recognizable icons from antiquity. But many people are unaware that the Trojan horse didn't actually have a belly. There was no belly on the Trojan horse to hide Ulysses and the Greek men. Francesco Taboni, Ph.D., a naval archaeologist at the University of Marseille, came to the conclusion that the name of the distinctive hippos was really given to a Phoenician boat particularly because it had a horse head. It is really the same phrase used in Greek for sincere horses. As a result, the myth that has remained through time has come to be believed that Virgil himself translated the works into Greek while making a grave blunder. 1. Adolf Hitler's paintings. One of history's most prominent figures, Adolf Hitler, is remembered for his despicable deeds while serving as the head of Nazi Germany. The fact that he was also striving to be an artist, though, surprises a lot of people. Hitler continued to pursue painting throughout his life, despite his unsuccessful attempts to enroll in art school. German Expressionism had a major influence on his paintings, and he was frequently commended for his use of color and mood. Not everyone is aware that, from 1904 to 1914, Hitler pursued his passion for drawing and painting in addition to becoming a deadly ruler in the early 1900s. Sadly, the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts twice denied him, killing his artistic aspirations. His paintings sold for tens of thousands of dollars after World War II. In Vienna from 1908 to 1913, he produced hundreds of works and sold them to support himself. Despite his lack of commercial success, he continued to paint for the rest of his life. Some of the paintings are being kept by the government after being taken by the US military. The general public's response to his work has received mixed reviews. With numerous claims that Hitler showed superior ability as an architect, as demonstrated by how he focused on structures in his paintings rather than other characteristics like trees or people, it has been criticized as being cold and heartless. Are you amazed by the historical facts that have never been taught at school? These are not very common among many of us, but make sure that you know these important facts to furnish your knowledge. We hope you learned a lot about the historical figures that you never learned about in school. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. Don't be a know-it-all, instead be a learn-it-all.